Welcome to the Managing Client-to-Server Communication lesson. Some of our client groups are having issues communicating with the Symantec Endpoint Protection Manager. We were told that the SEPM uses a sylink.xml file for communication. However, we are not sure how the SEPM and clients use this file. Your assignment is to learn how the SEPM uses the sylink.xml file to communicate with clients. You must also determine the best communication mode for our 20,000 clients, and how to replace the communication file on some clients without reinstalling. The lesson objectives are shown in the slide. This is the Analyzing Client-to-SEPM Communication Settings topic. The Symantec Endpoint Protection Manager, also known as the Management Server, includes two servers. The Apache HTTP server provides communication to the client to deliver content and policies and enables the client to upload logs. By default, clients initiate communication with the SEPM over TCP port 443 at a pre-configured interval known as a heartbeat. The Apache Tomcat server, which is not shown here, is an open-source servlet container that provides a Java HTTP web server environment for Java code to run on SSL TCP 8443. To ensure that SEP12 clients continue to communicate with the SEPM, the clients retain their original communication settings. By default, SEP12 clients communicate on HTTP TCP 8014 or HTTPS TCP 443. For more information on upgrading or migrating SEP12 clients, refer to the KB article shown on the slide. This lesson focuses on SEP14 client communication. However, you can attend the Symantec Endpoint Protection 14 Plan and Implement course and learn how to migrate or upgrade SEP12 clients to SEP14. Clients communicate in push or pull mode. In push mode, the client establishes a constant HTTPS connection to the server. Even though this is a constant connection, the client checks in with the server only after every heartbeat interval. Whenever the server wants to push down changes, it breaks the connection to the client, which causes the client to immediately attempt to reestablish the connection and retrieve any server changes. Push mode is somewhat server-intensive and works better with smaller numbers of clients. In pull mode, the client connects to the server based on the heartbeat interval. The number of clients supported on a single server is dependent on factors such as server performance, network bandwidth use, server communications, and heartbeat frequency. Pull mode can support more clients than push mode, and the less frequent the heartbeat, the more clients are supported. If the connection fails during a heartbeat, the client retries the connection. The default heartbeat level is determined during the SEP14 installation and is based on the number of clients you specify. If you select the default installation, which is for 500 clients or less, the heartbeat is set to every 5 minutes in pull mode. If you select the custom installation, which is for over 500 clients, the heartbeat interval is set to every 30 minutes in push mode. When necessary, you change these configurations on the group's communication settings page. For Symantec recommended communication settings, see the KB article shown on the slide. The default management server list shows clients are communicating with the SEPM using the HTTPS protocol. In communication settings, the clients are in pull mode and connect to the SEPM every 30 minutes. These settings are also shown in the SEPM's sylink.xml communication file. During the SEPM installation, the sylink.xml file is created and stored on the SEPM. This file is used to communicate between the SEPM and its clients. This slide highlights the communications mode and heartbeat interval in seconds, the management server list name, protocol, and port. Each client downloads this file, which enables them to determine the SEPM to which they connect and which communication settings to use. The file's location is shown on the slide. This slide shows the correlation between the sylink.xml file and communication settings. Other settings are explained in more detail later in this lesson. The management server list identifies the port and protocol that clients use and the SEPM to which the client connects. When you enable Verify Certificate when using HTTPS protocol, this ensures that clients connect to the correct SEPM and spoof attacks cannot occur. When there is more than one SEPM server, you can set the priority for each SEPM for failover. For more information on failover, see the Symantec Endpoint Protection 14 Plan and Implement course or visit the Symantec support website. Fast pathing for SEP 12.1.4 and later clients allows an organization to set a relatively long heartbeat interval to minimize traffic without losing up-to-date client security information. Without this, important events like viral infections are only uploaded during a heartbeat. Waiting for a heartbeat to forward events to the SEPM may slow down an organization's response time to an emerging threat. This slide compares normal heartbeat functions to fast pathing. If a critical security event occurs, regardless of the heartbeat interval, clients upload events to the SEPM every minute. Critical security events are logged by virus and spyware, intrusion prevention, sonar, and insight protection technologies and are stored in the seclog.log and avman.log files on the client. See the KB article shown on the slide for more details. A SEP client with application learning enabled tracks each and every application that runs on the client and forwards the information to the SEPM. The SEPM processes this data and inserts parts of it into the database. No anonymous data is sent to Symantec from application learning. Use this information to build application-based firewall rules, host integrity rules, and exceptions. Leaving application learning enabled indefinitely always results in an increased database size. To approximate the amount of space taken by application learning, multiply the number of unique executables in your environment by the number of SEP clients with application learning enabled. This number gives you an idea of how many entries to expect. This number can range between the hundreds of thousands in small environments to the hundreds of millions in large environments. After you collect the files you need, ensure that you turn off Learn Applications. Your SEPM or group update providers may experience reduced performance when multiple client computers attempt to simultaneously download content from them. You can set a randomization window in communication settings. Each client computer attempts to download content at a random time that occurs within that window. Reconnection preferences only apply when the SEPM no longer has any records for the client in question. For example, if a client is accidentally deleted from the SEPM console. This is the client scilink.xml file subtopic. Here you learn how clients use the scilink.xml file. When you initially install the SEPM, there are two folders in the client identifier folder. One for the My Computer group and one for the default group. Each of these folders contains a scilink.xml for clients that are members of the applicable group. This slide shows 5 folders, which means this company has multiple groups. Note the first 4 digits of the client identifier folder. This number is the first 4 digits of the client's policy serial number. The following slide shows you how to compare these numbers between the SEPM and SEP client. When you open the SEP client UI, select Help, Troubleshooting, and compare the first 4 digits of the client identifier to the client policy serial number. On the SEPM, to verify the client's last check-in time and that the client is downloading the most current policies, navigate to the SEPM Clients page. Select the client's group, and from the View drop-down menu, select Client Status. Write down the policy serial number and the date and time in the Last Time Status Changed column. Next, navigate to the client, open the client interface, and select Help Troubleshooting. Compare the policy serial number and the last time status changed on the SEPM and client. If these numbers match, the client is properly communicating with the SEPM. Note that there may be a time discrepancy because of the heartbeat interval. To force the client to check in with the SEPM, select Update Policy on the client interface. When comparing the policy serial number, Also note the last 3 digits in the policy serial number. When these numbers match, the client is running the current policy. This is the Restoring Communication Between a SEPM and its Clients topic. Here are some reasons why you restore a silink.xml file. First, the client no longer communicates with the SEPM. However, you run the ping command from the SEPM and the client replies. The reply from the client rules out a networking issue. In the second example, the client was initially installed using a CD-ROM, which makes the client unmanaged by the SEPM. In this case, you want to establish a connection to the SEPM so that policies are managed by the SEPM. The following slide explains 2 different methods that you can use to restore communication with SEP clients. This slide shows you how to export client communication settings for Windows, Linux, and Mac clients. User mode and computer mode are explained in more detail later in this course. The Windows silink.drop.exe file is stored on the SEPM and each client as shown on the slide. A silink.drop.app also exists for Mac. The file is located on the SEP DVD below Tools/silink.drop/Mac. For more information on converting unmanaged Mac clients to managed clients, see the KB article also shown on the slide. You can run the Communication Update Package deployment from the Client Deployment Wizard for Windows and Mac clients. When you run the Communication Update Package using Remote Push, select the group from which to import the silink.xml file and enable Computer or User mode. The advantage of using the Windows Client Communication Update package is that the package can include the Symantec Endpoint Protection password. You include a password when it is required by the client group settings to start and stop the client service, or change communication settings. After you provide this information, you are required to select Push mode and the clients to be updated. If a Windows client password is required, you are prompted to type the password. If you are using the same password for all Windows domains or workgroups, you only type it once. If not, you are prompted to type the password for each client. When using Remote Push to push communication update packages to Mac clients, ensure the Bonjour service is installed on the SEPM. Importing the silink.xml for Linux clients requires command line usage and an understanding of the sudo command. See the KB article shown on the slide to import client-server communication. If you have administrator access to a Windows client, you can locally import a silink.xml file by using the Import option below Communication Settings. If a password is required for importing communication settings, the Import option is not accessible. This option is very useful to help desk employees because they can send a silink.xml file to the client user with instructions on how to import the file. This is the Verifying Clients Are Online with the SEPM topic. Use the deployment report to ensure that the silink.xml file is copied to clients, and then use the Client Online Status report to view which clients are actually online. You can also check the client's status from the SEPM and on the client interface. The shield in the status bar displays a green dot when the client is online and no dot when the client is offline. Other status icons indicate when the client is online and needs attention, such as the client needing definition updates or a protection technology is disabled. For a complete listing and description of the client status icons, see the KB article shown on the slide. This slide summarizes the lesson. For more information about the topics discussed in this lesson, refer to the resources listed on the slide, and remember to frequently check the Symantec Support website.